The history of Project Lead the Way, it started in upstate New York, just north of Albany in the Shenandoah School District, which is just between Albany and Saratoga there. There was a really innovative teacher there, a guy by the name of Dick Blaze. He had implemented project-based learning in the STEM fields. My uncle was the first one to see it. I'm not sure how he ended up walking into that classroom, but the moment he saw it, he said, this is something that's really interesting. He owned a manufacturing company and was really concerned, as was my grandfather, that we weren't generating enough students who could actually go to work in technical fields. When they saw that classroom, they said, how do we replicate this? How do we make it bigger than this one classroom? And that was sort of the seeds of Project Lead the Way. Project Lead the Way 25 years ago was one teacher in one classroom. When I first got involved and my uncle got involved, we said, this would be great if we could just get it in every high school in upstate New York. Like that would be like a huge win. My grandfather had the vision of this is something the entire country needs, and how do we do that? We couldn't do it on our own. The key to this, the expansion of Project Lead the Way, is that all across the country there were other people who saw this vision, and they just over time aligned to create Project Lead the Way in a way that is today, which is at a scale that none of us could have imagined 25 years ago. Bob Kern, who was a founder of Generac, a big company in Milwaukee, Bob saw the same problem. He was trying to do the same work in Milwaukee. When Bob and Jim Ryan got behind it, that's really when Project Lead the Way moved west and started to create a national footprint.
January of 2009, the Kern Family Foundation made the first of several significant investments, not in individual schools, but in the infrastructure of Project Lead the Way National, to say what would happen if they had the school engagement force, the curriculum team, the other kind of a workforce that they would need to really get the growth of PLTW moving. So when the foundation began its interface with PLTW, PLTW was in roughly 300 schools. Today it's over 12,000, almost 13,000 and growing. So that's worked out pretty well. Went from being a boutique program that was housed in the vocational technical education wing of the high school or middle school into a program that's now in many places been brought right into the main hub. When you think of launch and gateway, this is all students. This is not just a program for some. That mindset then has led to the kinds of teacher training that's necessary to allow Project Lead the Way to be taught by teachers coming from a variety of different disciplines.
One of the first summers I was doing training with a master teacher, and I got up and I lectured for 40 minutes. And afterwards, Bob says to me, boy, you really know your material, you're outstanding. You can never do that again. That's not how we teach at the high school level. That's not how we can teach the summer training. And I was like, he's absolutely right. So this really changed how I teach in my career.
Project Lead the Way is enabling the next generation workforce to be ready for the challenges and to be ready for the opportunities and the possibility for growth yet ahead. Project Lead the Way is a comprehensive curriculum for students and for teachers. And the foundation provides confidence and empowerment so that the students feel like the possible truly is possible because they are rooted in a solid foundation.